I'm a retired professional triathlete, TJ Tollakson, the CEO of Dimond Bikes, and today we are talking about consumer direct bike selling, buying, consumer direct bike buying. I'm usually on the selling side of that, but I'm going to talk today about the buying side of this. We are in our studio in Des Moines, Iowa, taped live in front of a studio audience to be replayed later. There we have it. So, consumer direct bike buying. It's been around for a long time. I can remember the first consumer direct brand that I really dealt with was a company called Airborne Bicycles. They had a nice website you could go to, pick out all your components, buy a bike online, have it delivered to your house. So it's been around for a super long time. It still exists today. More and more brands are converting to consumer direct. And even some of the big box brands like Trek have some sort of a method of consumer direct bike buying, right? So we know that if it's going down to Trek saying, hey, you can buy a bike on our website, that's going to become more and more prevalent. So since Dimond started shipping bikes to customers in 2014, we've always been consumer direct. We also sell with some shops and bike fitters and other things, but we're largely a consumer direct company. The one exception to that is internationally we work with distributors, and that really helps us, especially when there's a language and currency barrier for the customer, right? So customers can see, touch, feel, and the local distributors are a huge asset. But being a consumer direct brand, we rely heavily on customers to gain an intimate knowledge of the bicycle on our website. So our website is really important into how we interact with our customers. And then primarily, we're not selling bikes straight through their website. We usually have phone conversations with customers before they buy. Now, not always, but we usually either have an in-person or a phone conversation with a customer before they buy a bike. So what does this all look like? So each customer has the option to see our bike in person at an expo. But a lot of times the only time people see the bike is on the website or maybe from a distance in a race. And hopefully that distance means that all the diamonds are just flying by them in the race. They're so fast.
It's pretty fast.
But maybe you're actually just looking at a slower moving bike like this Diamond Carbide in front of me. Either way, looking at the bike online and deciding to make a purchase of this magnitude is not always an easy thing. So we'll look at some of the complications involved with consumer direct buying and what I think the best methods for moving forward are if you decide to purchase consumer direct. So the biggest advantage to working consumer direct is you have a direct pipeline to the company. So now I realize that if you're working with someone like Trek, that may not be the direct pipeline that you're looking for, but certainly in a smaller company like Dimond, almost every one of my customers has my cell phone number. I mean, you've seen my cell phone ring and answer the cell phone during these videos. So you can take off this service plate and access everything in there. Here we go. Pardon the interruption. Hello? You can imagine it's fairly nice to be able to reach me if you ever have a problem with your bike. Now I realize that we might not always be small enough that every customer has my cell phone and email to be able to contact me like this, but I hope for the majority of the duration of this company, for as long as I can keep this in existence, that every one of my customers has that pipeline because that's the type of customer service I strive to provide. So you get that direct pipeline right to the company. Two, you get exactly what you want. So the historical method of buying a bike involved going to your bike shop, seeing what color bikes they had, what components that they had available, and saying, okay, this one is about your size, I think it will work. Uh-oh, we're losing our studio audience. Aww. There she goes, sneaking out. Still clapping though, that was nice, Megan, thank you. So you get exactly what you don't want at the bike store because you get exactly whatever they have in stock, right? It's like, okay, well this one doesn't have the components I want or the colors I want or any of this, right? So in a world where you want it your way right away, thanks Burger King.
Have it your way at Burger King.
People want exactly what they want, when they want it, how they want it, and usually that means yesterday. But the big advantage of Consumer Direct is we allow customers to pick out everything that they want on their bike. And not just like one or two brands, I mean like everything. If I can get it, I can put it on your bike, build it for you, and get it to you. So one of the biggest challenges then, once you pick that out, you have it custom painted. Well, yeah, hold on, let's backtrack up there. Custom paint, what? Yes, custom paint. So every Dimond bicycle gets custom painted right here in Des Moines, Iowa. It's an awesome process. You get to choose, even the most basic ones still have some custom options, but it's really cool in what you can pick out and put on your bike. And we do some wild paint jobs. So that's a huge advantage of buying Consumer Direct. There's no way that you could get that same kind of experience if you were working through your local bike shop. So that being said, you pick all this out, then where's the failure, right? Like where's the sticking point, the stickiness of the situation?
Let's find out.
We're gonna build your bike here, and we're gonna take really cool photos of it, and then we're gonna pack it in a box, we're gonna ship it to you, and then it needs to be built again. So those are two of the challenges. We're gonna ship a bike to you and it's already been assembled and checked, but it's gonna need to be reassembled and checked again after it's transported. So that's one of the challenges. The other challenge is the bike fit, right? So we typically ship all our bikes with the max seat post and the max number of spacers under the stem. And so you can see this has a max number of spacers, max seat post in here. But anytime you cut it, you gotta make sure that it is exactly where you need it, because you cannot make your seat post or your steer tube longer. Once you cut, they're good. You can always make it shorter, just not longer. So it's really important if you buy a bike Consumer Direct to have either one, the knowledge on how to do all this stuff yourself. Now we have customers that fall into that category, and I think it's awesome. The majority of our customers don't fall into that category, so they need to rely on a local bike shop, a mobile bike shop like Beeline or VeloFix, or have some buddies who are super handy with bikes or work at the bike collective or whatever. You need that relationship. You're gonna need some specialty tools, you're gonna need some experience just to feel good about what you're doing. So I recommend using your local bike shop to help you fully assemble your bike, check to make everything is safe, do your bike fit, and perform routine maintenance on your bike. So if you have the right local bike shop that isn't really super angry that the fact that you bought a bike Consumer Direct and through their store, which I think nowadays is a lot easier to find, but trust me, I still get a lot of complaints from mechanics about how garbage our bikes are, which has nothing to do with our bikes. It has more to do with the relationship between shipping a bike to a bike shop and then having a mechanic who's never worked on one of our bikes try to put it together. So there is some friction right there. I always recommend that our customers give my phone number or our shop phone number to the bike shop when they drop the bike off, along with the PDF of our bike manuals. Those are super helpful because they can help the mechanic, but also a phone call can solve a lot of this friction. So those are some of the sticking points of buying a bike. So what is the industry doing and what are we, Dimond, doing to try to make that better?
All good questions.
I think you're going to start to see more bike companies shipping in larger and larger boxes for that reason. Another really cool service that we've offered on a limited basis, but there are some third parties now that are doing this, which is called white glove service. And this is truly white glove. Literally, we will take the bike like this, roll it right out the factory into a delivery vehicle. So it's like tri-bike transport. But instead of delivering it to your race, it would deliver it from our factory right to your house.
That's impossible.
The problem with that delivery service is it is not a mechanic who delivers the bike, it is a delivery guy, so it is not going to be everything set up and perfect. The one thing that we have always offered our customers is the ability to cut your seat post, cut your steer tube to your dimensions. You're going to start to see more and more of that integration in our website and our buying process, because that's going to become super important moving forward, right? We need to try to be able to get a really dialed in fit to a customer right from the get-go, and hopefully we can deliver a finished product that looks like the pictures we're sending the customer before they get their bike. So ideal situation, a customer doesn't have to assemble any of it. It's either taken care of by their bike shop, a delivery service, or a mobile bike shop. But that's where the sticking point lies, and that's where I would say that's where your relationship with your local bike shop is super important. I'm trying to encourage more people to take their custom specialty one-off bike made exactly for them right here in Des Moines, Iowa, to their local bike shop, continue that relationship, foster that relationship, buy them beer. Make sure that they think of you as a priority customer, because it will just make your relationship that much better and your relationship with your bike that much smoother. So that's a little bit about buying bikes consumer direct. If you want to see any other topics on this, let me know and I'd be glad to post this. In the meantime, check out our new website. Megan just launched a new website, so that's live and going on. And there'll be some really cool updates coming in the next few months. So thanks for tuning in. Happy shopping.